want to be sharing with you in this video how to remove any manifestation blocks that might be coming up in your life right now, because I've found a perfect way to literally remove any manifestation blocks that might be popping up in my experience. And it inspired me so powerfully to start to see how these things don't have to be blocks any longer, that it actually inspired me to record this video. So in this video, what I really want to talk about is the understanding that you don't need to be blocked by the blocks, if that makes sense. Because sometimes we have these blocks in our experience, but not only do we have blocks to our manifestations that are already sort of lingering in the background of our subconscious, we actually have what I call blocks about the blocks, if that makes sense. So it's like we have this first level of being blocked, but then the mind almost adds another level of resistance, and then there's almost like there's a resistance to the block, which then creates another layer of being blocked that wasn't even there to begin with. But of course, the mind sort of like added that layer. And so we're going to talk about how to remove all these layers of being blocked when it comes to what it is that you want to manifest, and how to just step into your full manifestation abilities and your manifestation powers to be able to create whatever it is that you want in your life. And actually, the beautiful thing is that it's not really something that's that difficult to do. It's not even quite a doing, to be honest. It's more of a state of being that you want to start embodying, if of course you want to start manifesting your reality. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. So let's talk about in this video how to remove any manifestation blocks when it comes to what you want to manifest. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. So let's talk about this. Well, the first thing you want to be conscious of when it comes to how to remove the blocks is just be aware of the blocks that might be popping up in your experience. See, because a lot of the times we think about manifestation as, I need to start focusing on what I want more, because you've learned this in the law of attraction community, right? I need to focus more on what it is that I want. I need to focus on the positives and not the negatives. I need to focus on what I want to manifest and remove and take away all the attention from what I don't want to manifest, right? And although that might be true from one perspective, what I found in my experience is that from another perspective, the mind can be sort of unconsciously focusing on all the negatives, and we don't even realize that we're doing this. So you can focus on the positives all you want. Maybe you can even do like a 5-minute manifestation technique, or affirm to yourself twice a day that I'm abundant, or whatever it is that you might be learning in the law of attraction teachings. Not to say that there's anything wrong with these teachings, but the problem is that when it comes to the manifestation process, if you're doing a manifestation technique where you're focusing on what you want for 5 minutes, but then for the rest of your day, there's all these thought resistances that are then, not only is there thoughts, but then these thoughts are interlinked and interconnected with an emotion in the body. And then also there's probably another set of thoughts saying that these thoughts and these stories and these emotions shouldn't be happening, right? And then it's like, it's just another layer on top of layer on top of layer on top of layer. And it's just like there's resistance upon resistance. So how do you get rid of this? Well, step one, start to become conscious throughout your day when you're creating this resistance. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked to realize that if you truly apply this, your mind might be literally creating emotional resistance in the body throughout the entire day. This unconscious thought loop, this unconscious story around why we're not worthy to manifest what we want, why we're not allowed to have what we want. We're scared of these things manifesting. Oh my gosh, why am I thinking about this thought? It's going to manifest, it's going to manifest, it's going to manifest. And then it manifests like, see, I told you, Francis, I knew it was going to manifest, and it manifested. Yeah, because you believed that it was going to manifest, because you thought it once and then so it actually manifested. But here's the truth. The truth is that this is like, and this might seem a little bit counterintuitive, it might seem a little bit paradoxical, it might seem a little bit like, Francis, come on. This, like, it's almost sometimes like we don't want to hear the truth of what the situation is. And so here's ultimately what it is. Understand that, like, I'm literally just going to give you in this video a step-by-step process, like literally exactly what you need to do in my personal experience. So step one, notice throughout your day when you're experiencing some sort of thought resistance. Okay, that's just step one. We're going to go step by step here to make this very simple, and we're going to simplify it down into a very easy and consumable way. So step one, notice throughout your day when you're actually, when you're experiencing a thought that then creates an emotional resistance in the body. Because this happens more than you think. I've had it in my life where I was looking back, of course I didn't do this consciously, but looking back, I realized, like, holy shit, I actually had this thought that created some sort of resistance in the body, and then I actually had a resistance about that resistance. We'll get to the next step in a second here, but there was like a resistance, and then that resistance ultimately ended up manifesting my reality, okay? And the thing that I didn't want to manifest, well then guess what happened? It actually manifested into my existence. Unfortunately, that is the case. So what we can start to realize is that let's just go step by step here. That's step one. Now you might be thinking, okay, Francis, I get it. My thoughts create lots of resistance. I have blocks. How do I remove it, Francis? How do I remove it? I understand that there's thoughts that create resistance in my body. How do I actually remove it? Well, it's not as complicated as you think, because here's what I want you to really take in right now. I want you to really take this in. When you don't notice that there's resistance, you're completely lost in the resistance. But the noticing of the resistance immediately creates a separation between you and a quote unquote separation, where it's not quite a separation, but to some degree, it kind of is a separation. And the moment that you can start to notice that there actually is a resistance, you've actually quote unquote created a separation between you and the resistance, which then it already removes a little bit of the resistance. It might not seem like it, but if you can start to notice the difference between being not realizing that you're lost in some thought loop and a resistance, but then being the noticer and being the observer of the resistance, you'll find that there's a distinction there where you've now just got one step closer to removing that resistance out of your experience. Now, it might still be in your experience in that moment, but then the awareness that you're bringing into that moment, you're actually already removing yourself a little bit from the resistance, because you're not lost in it anymore, right? Because before, the resistance was in the dark, which is why we call it the subconscious mind manifesting. But then now you've now brought light to the dark. So now the subconscious is no longer in the subconscious, it's now in the conscious. And the way that you cleanse the subconscious is by bringing the dark to the light, which light is a synonymous term for consciousness. You see what I'm saying? So now what's going on here is that here's how you remove the blocks. And I'm just gonna, no more making it complicated. I'm not gonna make it very complicated. This is how you do it. Throughout your day, notice when you're in resistance, and then just allow it. So try to, you have to actually not do that. It's not a doing. You're not doing. You could live your life exactly the same way that you're living your life right now. I'm not asking you to change anything about your life. I'm asking you to try to catch the thought that then creates the resistance. Now here's what you do next. That's step one. Step two, step one is to always, as much as possible throughout the day, notice your thought creating that resistance around, oh my gosh, you think a thought that goes against your manifestation. Oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? See, you don't want those things to manifest. You notice it, yeah, you're gonna manifest that reality if you have a lack of consciousness. You see, you're always manifesting. The question is, are you consciously manifesting? See, that thought that you're resisting, if you're not conscious of it, you're gonna manifest it. But because now you've caught it, now you're one step closer. So that's step one. Notice throughout your day that you're having that. Now step two is shift your attention away from the thought and then into the body of where that emotional resistance actually is. So start to notice where that resistance is in your body. And it might seem a little bit counterintuitive and you might not want to do this, but believe me, this is not going to be that hard, because it's actually much harder to be completely lost in the resistance. Because what we're doing here is we're clearing out the resistance out of the body. See, what normally people do is not only do they have resistance, but then they are resisting the resistance. You see what I'm saying? So what we're doing here is we're starting to bring consciousness to, well, first of all, we're taking consciousness away from the thinking. That's the most important thing here. Away from the thought that you obviously don't want to manifest, right? You obviously, if you ever thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if this person's gonna break up with me, or oh my gosh, I wonder if I'm gonna lose this money in this business deal, or oh my gosh, you don't want those thoughts. Those thoughts are manifesting your reality. We need to get rid of those thoughts. So you need to stop feeding it energy. So the way you stop feeding it energy is by, one, catching it, noticing it. Don't be scared to notice it, because the noticing is what will allow you to remove it. You're not giving it energy by noticing it. You're actually taking away energy from it by noticing it, because before you were feeding it energy unconsciously. So people have a common objection. Well, Francis, if I notice it, am I not feeding energy to the thing that I don't want to manifest? No, by you not noticing it, you're feeding energy to it and manifesting it. So if you want to stop manifesting it, you have to actually notice it and have enough courage to become conscious of it. Once you become conscious of the thought, shift your attention into the body, exactly where you feel that resistance, and what you'll actually find is that it might very quickly just go away. You're almost like cutting off the pattern. The pattern was going to just manifest and manifest and manifest, and there you go, you manifest it. You're like, damn it, see, I was so scared, I knew it was going to happen. No, because you believed in it, you manifested that reality. But in my reality, this is how I live my life now. I catch a thought, then I shift my awareness to the body, I don't resist that feeling, and it immediately goes away. And I think to myself, holy shit, in a parallel timeline reality where I was attached to that thought, I literally manifested that thought into existence. It's shocking when you can see this. This is absolutely shocking. The information that I'm telling you right now in this video is absolutely shocking, because you have to understand that infinite parallel realities exist right now. And if you don't become conscious of what I'm telling you here, you might manifest a parallel reality that's completely based on a thought form that's, of course, based in fear. That's what you might manifest. You might manifest a reality that's completely based on fear. And so you need to bring more consciousness to that. Otherwise, you will manifest it. You will manifest it. I'm not saying it to put fear into you. I'm telling you what already is the case in your life. You might already be manifesting something in your life unconsciously right now. So we need to start to bring consciousness to this. So step one, notice the thought. Step two, shift your energy and your consciousness. Consciousness is energy, to the resistance. Do not resist the resistance in your body. And notice how quickly it goes away. If you do this with enough courage, with enough consciousness, with enough willingness, with enough focus, this does take a little bit of focus. This does take a little bit of quote unquote concentration, but you're not doing anything. You're just kind of, you're like, it's not really doing, you're sort of like playing with the energy and the consciousness that's in your body, right? So if you do this with enough consciousness and energy, the resistance will go away quickly. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Just be with the resistance and then it will go away. It will eventually go away. And if it doesn't, understand that's okay too, because unless you're not going to manifest it unless you lose yourself in the resistance. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Don't be afraid if it doesn't go away, because, oh my gosh, it's not going away, I'm going to manifest it. No, that will manifest it. You see? If you say, oh my gosh, I'm so scared it's not going away, the resistance isn't going away, that means I'm going to manifest it because Francis said it should go away, and because it's not going away, it's going to manifest. No, all of that thought stuff, now you're feeding it again and then you're going to manifest it. No, all you have to do is don't resist the resistance. If you don't resist the resistance, you will be fine. This is how you clear the blocks. And if you do this long enough throughout the day, catch all the times in your day when you're thinking. You'll be shocked to realize that your mind is coming up with a lot of stories around why certain things are going to happen in your life. And then if you start to raise your level of consciousness enough, you'll see like, holy shit, literally before, like let's just say I'm you and I'm gonna be like impersonating you for a second, so to speak, for the purposes of expressing this. So imagine I become you for a second. You're gonna be like, holy shit, literally I didn't realize that this whole time I've literally been manifesting this reality unconsciously because I was resisting the resistance. You'll see it. I'm telling you, the more that I ground into my true self and the more that I ground into not feeding the resistances with more resistance, because what you resist persists. And if you're resisting something unconsciously, then the more that I don't do that, all that resistance, I just manifest everything that I want because I'm not getting in the way. This is what Abraham Hicks talks about. What Abraham Hicks talks about is beautiful because what we don't need to, sometimes focusing on what we want is creating the lack, right? So it's like, I need to focus on what I want, but you're compensating because actually you're in lack. So you don't need to focus on what you want sometimes. Sometimes just having one thought of what you want is all you freaking need. That's all you really need, is to have one thought. The struggle that most people have is not focusing on what they want. It's removing the obstacles. And if you remove the obstacles, you automatically sort of become this clear channel and this clear path, and you just manifest all the things that you want. I'm telling you right now, my life, whenever I do this, my manifestations come in very quickly. And I'm not afraid of the resistances in my body because it's just telling me that I need to shift something in my consciousness in order to get closer to what I want to manifest. And ultimately, of course, to learn who I really am as consciousness, as a divine consciousness creator that's manifesting its reality moment by moment. So believe me, just if you have any doubts, just take my word for it for now. Eventually, you'll realize that everything you want is going to start to manifest, and all you have to do is clear out the blocks. Don't get too lost in just doing shadow work, although it is a very important aspect of manifestation. You can still go throughout your day and you can still focus on all the things that you need to do in order to create what you want. Feel good about your life. Do the things that make you happy. But you also want to remove the resistances that are completely useless. Just completely useless. It's just a waste of energy. It's just completely useless. It's just a huge waste of energy. It's just completely fucking useless. That's all it is. And I had to say that in that way to outline the fact that a lot of the energy and thoughts that we have are a complete waste of our thought energy. It's a complete waste of thought energy. So test this. Leave a comment down below if you test this. I would absolutely love to hear whatever it is that you do in your life in regards to how to actually manifest what you want. I would love to hear how you apply this. Very simple step-by-step process that if you apply, I believe will allow you to remove all the blocks in your life when it comes to what you want to manifest. And it will allow you to create what you want in a much more powerful way. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. And as always, have yourself a great day and I'll see you in the next video.